Interpolated translation for Parshat Terumah. The Tabernacle. 25:1 God's plan for making the world into his true home included, from the beginning, the establishment of a central location where this ideal could be expressed and which would serve as a locus for the processes through which the people would sanctify both themselves and the world. This permanent location of this locus was to be the temple in Jerusalem. While the people were still in the desert, it would consist of a portable complex, the Tabernacle, its surrounding courtyard, and the specific furnishings to be positioned in it and in the courtyard. It will be recounted later on that the people miscalculated the 40 days that Moses had said he would remain on the mountain, and that this led them to assume he had perished there. This, in turn, led them to commit the sin of the golden calf, after which Moses broke the tablets on which the 10 Commandments were written. After this sin, Moses had to ascend Mount Sinai again, intercede with God on the people's behalf, and reinstate the relationship that had been forged at the revelation and that had been abrogated by the sin. As was mentioned before, there were two aspects to this relationship: the rational, contractual aspect and the essential, covenantal aspect. God indicated his restoration of the contractual side of the relationship by replacing the broken tablets and the commandments inscribed on them. He indicated his restoration of the covenantal side of the relationship by allowing the people to build the tabernacle, so his presence could indeed dwell among them. The Torah, therefore, gives the details of the tabernacle and its operation here, deferring the account of the sin of the golden calf and the subsequent reconciliation until later on, in order to first complete its description of both aspects of the bond between God and the people that was established at Mount Sinai. 3. Thus, as part of his reconciliation with the people, God spoke to Moses, saying, 2. I have forgiven the people the sin of the golden calf, and will allow them to resume their task of sanctifying reality. To this end, I will allow them to build the tabernacle so that my presence can dwell among them. Since the tabernacle will thus serve the people, they must donate the materials from which the artisans will fashion both the tabernacle and the garments of the priests who will officiate in it. Therefore, speak to the Israelites and have the treasurers take materials the people donate for this purpose from their personal belongings as a contribution for me. I am only asking the people to donate materials that they already possess and are readily at hand. 5. But when they designate and donate these materials, they must dedicate them specifically to God, in order to rectify the way they contributed their possession freely to make the golden calf. 6. Tell the treasurers, you shall take the contribution for me from every man whose heart prompts him to give. Women are exempt from these donations, since they did not sin at the incident of the golden calf, but they may contribute if they wish. 7. No specific amount is required from each person, with the exception that each adult male is to give a half shekel of silver now, for the construction of the bases under the planks 8, and the hooks and bands for the pillars 9, and a half shekel annually, for the purchase of the communal offerings. 10. 3. The following materials constitute the contribution that you shall take from them: gold, silver, and copper, of which they have plenty from the spoils of Egypt and the sea of reeds. 11. For wool dyed turquoise with the blood of a sea creature called the chilazon, wool dyed purple, and wool dyed scarlet, from the wool of their flocks. 12. Linen, of which there is an abundance in Egypt. 13. And which they took when they left. 14. Goat hair. 5 and red-dyed ram skins from their flocks, skins of the takash, an animal with a multicolored hide that they will find here in the desert. 15 acacia wood, which Jacob foresaw they would need and told them to take with them when they left Egypt. 16 6 olive oil, which you took with you from Egypt. 17 and which is to be used for illumination in the candelabrum, and spices for the anointing oil, used to anoint the tabernacle, its furnishings, and the priests. 18 and for the incense offering. 19 7 and onyx stones and inset stones, the onyx stones for the ephod. 20 and the inset stones for the breastplate. 21 which are 2 of the high priest's garments that will be described later on. 8 They shall make me a sanctuary from these materials. When they do so, they must specifically intend thereby to infuse holiness into these materials. 22 The purpose of the sanctuary is so that I may dwell in their midst. 9 They must make this dwelling, or tabernacle, according to all that I am showing you here, on Mount Sinai, i.e., the form of the tabernacle and the form of all its furnishings. You, yourself, however, will not actually make any part of the tabernacle or its furnishings. 23 And so shall you, i.e., the community, make replacements for these furnishings, if necessary, and similar furnishings for the permanent temple that will eventually be constructed in the land of Israel. The Ark. 10 They shall make an ark of acacia wood, 2.5 cubits long, 1.5 cubits wide, and 1.5 cubits high. It shall have no legs, but rest directly on the ground. Figure 2. The Ark. 11 You shall have them overlay it with pure gold. You shall have them overlay it inside and out by making 2 golden boxes, one slightly larger and one slightly smaller than the wooden ark, and placing the wooden ark in between them. See Figure 1. Have them make the outer, golden chest a handbreadth higher than the other 2 chests, in order to enclose the cover that will be placed upon them. See Figure 2. In addition, upon the outer, golden chest you shall have them make a decorative gold rim all around. This rim will signify the dignity that is due scholars of the Torah, for the ark will house the tablets of the Torah. Figure 1. The ark, 3 open boxes. Note, 1 cubit equals 6 handbreadths h. 12 You shall have them cast for gold rings for the ark, and place them on its 4 corners, 2 rings on one side and 2 rings on the other side. 13 You shall have them make rods of acacia wood and overlay them with gold. 14 You shall have them insert the rods through the rings on the sides of the ark, so that the ark can be carried with them. See Figure 3. Figure 3. The rings and poles of the ark. 15 The rods shall remain in the rings of the ark. They may not be removed from it. 24 Even when the ark is not being carried. 16 And in the ark you shall place the tablets. 25 Of the testimony that I will give you. The tablets are called tablets of the testimony, since they bear witness that I have commanded you all that is written on